Welcome to yet another real-time Power BI simulation video. Today we will not only work on Power BI desktop, but we will also upload our reports to the Power BI report server, where we will introduce you to two interesting ways you can auto-refresh your reports in the web portal. To cover this tutorial, you must have installed Power BI Desktop, Power BI Report Server, Power Automate, and Chrome browser. So, without any further delay, let's start our today's tutorial. Let's start by creating a table for Tricolor Juice Company. We will record juice plants statistics such as load, temperature, material in, material out, and material lost. In addition, we will record the number of juice bottles produced in each category, which are green, red, and blue, including bottles damaged during the production process. Obviously, we don't actually have a plant, but we can create a simulation of one, using random data. We will create this data, and store it in the SQL table, 1 row per second. Let's create the table by pressing the Execute button. The table has been created. We can now use the Select command to view the table. Here is our blank table. Let's create a query to fill this table with random data. Create a never-ending loop in SQL query. Add the begin and end block. Add a break of 1 second in your loop. Let's insert some random data into our SQL table. In the first column, we will enter current date and time. The getDate command also gets current time. However, the full date and time is only saved if your field is defined to store both. In the next column, we will enter a random value between 90 and 100. The random command generates our random value between 0 and 1. When multiplied by 10, the random value becomes 0 to 10, which we will add to 90, to generate a random value between 90 and 100. In the next column we will store random temperature, between 80 and 120. For our next field, we need to declare a variable. In this variable, we will store a random value between 90 to 100. This represents the material input into the machine, in percentage. Same way, we will use a variable to store a random value, slightly less than the material input, for material output. Assuming that some of the material is lost during the process. Since this is a juice factory, and some liquid can escape, spill, or evaporate. Next field represents production of a red juice. It can either be a 1 or 0. We will generate a random number, multiply it with 2. Then we will use the floor function to round it to 0, making a random number of either 1 to 0. Next, we will calculate the total red juices manufactured so far. First, we will take the sum of red field, using the Select command. In the first row, since there is no prior data, the value will return as null. Therefore we will use the isNull function, to convert this value into 0. This value does not include the current value, therefore we will add that separately. Using the same method, we will fill the fields for green and total green juices produced. Now, use these variable in the insert command. And the same method will be used from blue juice bottles as well. Then, we will sum the red, green, and blue variables, to calculate the number of bottles manufactured currently. And the sum of total red, total green, and total blue, to calculate the total number of bottles manufactured overall. Finally, there may be a damaged bottle as well. We will enter a random value, between 0 and 1, into the damage field. Then, just like before, we will take the total of damaged bottles, and insert its value into the table. Our query is now ready. It's time to test our query. Let's delete existing record, before running this query every time. Let's execute the query, and see the results. It seems, there is an error in our query. By inspecting the insert command, which is at row 15, we found out that we did not provide any input for loss field. Let's provide a value, for the loss field, which should be the difference of material in and out. Let's run the query again. Since this is a never-ending loop, we will have to click on the stop button, to terminate the query. Let's stop the query now, and using the select command, let's see the result of our query. It seems that the query has worked very well, and random data has been generated nicely. Now, open up the Power BI desktop application, and click on the SQL Server button. In the server field, enter the server address. We will copy our server address, and paste it in the field. Then, enter the name of the database, in the database field. Select the direct query mode, if you want to display real-time data. Click on the OK button. If the username and password has been entered previously, Power BI may not ask you for them. In the navigator window, select the table you want to use, and either click on the Load button, or Transform Data button. Transform Data will take you to Power Query Editor, where you can transform the data, before using it in your reports. After making necessary changes, press Close and Apply button, to load the data, in the Power BI desktop application. Once the data is loaded, all the fields will be available in the data pane, which you can use in your visuals. To start with the report, add a text box visual, and enter an appropriate title for your report. Make it prominent, by choosing a larger font size, and making it bold. First, add the Load Use field to your report. Change the visual to a gauge. Change the Load Use field to average. Add a new measure, with the value of 100. Add it to the maximum value area. Add another gauge visual, by creating a copy of the existing one, and place it at the bottom left corner. Replace the average load, with the average temperature, in the value area. Remove the measure from maximum value, and create a new one with a value of 120, and place it there. Add a combo chart to your report. Add the total red, green, and blue fields to the column y-axis of the combo chart. Make it a stacked chart. Add the date field to the x-axis. Add the total completed and total damaged fields to the line y-axis of stacked chart. To make chart efficient, reduce the data by accepting only latest 150 inputs. Apply the filter to finalize the visual. Make a copy of this visual, and place it at the bottom right corner of the report. Remove all the y-axis fields. Add the material in field to the line y-axis. Add the material out field to the column y-axis. You can also add the loss to the column y-axis with output as both total to the input. Now, go to the page settings and turn on the auto refresh, setting refresh time to 1 second. Then, go to the SQL server and turn on the simulation by executing the SQL query. As you can see, the data is displayed almost as soon as it is entered into the SQL database. Power BI Desktop is good for real-time data visuals. You do not need any gateway or API or third-party application or paid subscription to display real-time data. On the other hand, in Power BI service, you have to pay for the service, plus you need various tools and complicated process to achieve this task. The scheduled update is only allowed once a day. The other option is Power BI Report Server. It also does not provide a simple solution. But, there are some workaround, which bring us closer to a decent, almost real-time, reporting. Let's turn on the Power BI on-premises report server. Click on the web portal URL, to open up the report server web portal. Here you can upload your Power BI reports. Using the Upload button, upload the Power BI report to your report server. Now, open the report. You may face errors due to your database connection. Don't panic. Just go to the report settings. And then, go to the data source settings. Here review the authentication settings, and if required, add username and password. We will simply copy the username and password to their respective fields. Use the test connection button to see if your settings are now working or not. And save the settings. Now, reopen the report and see if it is working. The report should now work fine. Now, you have many ways to refresh this report. We will explore two of the simplest ones. The first method is to use a Chrome extension. Search for Auto Refresh and Full Screen Chrome extension in your browser's search engine. Now, open the page you are currently watching on screen. Install this extension in your browser. Click on the Add Extension button. This extension can refresh Power BI reports in many frequencies, lowest being 5 seconds. Open your report page, select the refresh frequency, and click the Apply button. Now, your page is being updated every 5 seconds. Let's run the query, and test the results. Set the interval to 5 seconds, and press Execute. The video has been fast-forwarded, but as you can see, the extension works well. You can keep the interval of 1 second or even lower in your SQL query. The results will appear after 5 seconds in your report, on screen. This is one of the simplest methods to display almost real-time information, using a simple Chrome extension. Another method is to use the Power Automate to auto-refresh the Power BI report in the report server web portal. Open the Power Automate and create a new flow. Enter an appropriate name and press the Create button. The easiest way is to record a flow. Whatever actions you perform will be recorded in the recorder for you to perform automatically through Power Automate. Press the Record button and perform the desired action. When you are done, press the Done button to close the recorder. Now, we want to perform the click refresh action multiple times. Look for a loop and bring it inside your flow. Set the start, end, and increment number. We want our loop to start at 1 and end at 10, increment by 1. Save the loop. Bring the action you want to repeat inside the loop. This is it. You are done. Let's try this now. Let's increase the loop to 100. Now, execute the query, to start the simulation. Then, run the flow, to refresh the report, as per your flow. As you can see, the report is being refreshed fine, using the Power Automate. This concludes our today's tutorial. Hope to see you in another interesting tutorial. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more insightful tutorials and updates.